Hi everyone, welcome back to Wings Without Strings. This is Justin Noggle again, here to talk to you about a new topic, anger and suppression. So super exciting. I wish I had a Hulk mask, but I don't. So I dug out another one of my NAMI green shirts, and it's a little small, so that makes me angry. It's been a bit since we did a video, but time gets in the way, some depression that I'll get into later, and just the timing, getting it right. Alas, we are here. I'm very excited to have you again. So, talking about anger and suppression. They go hand in hand, but I'm also talking about grief, at least briefly. Brief grief. One of the biggest parts of my onset of mental illness, if you watch the other video, was talking about how I suppressed the emotions of grief when my uncle died when I was 15. He was diagnosed with an illness, and within 3 months he died. And he died around Easter, and I did not handle it well at all. And that seemed to have gotten the ball rolling with my mental illness. It wasn't the cause or anything like that, but sometimes a traumatic event can actually lead to the onset of mental illness. So there's suppression there, and I still to this day think I suppress emotions. A lot of grief, potentially, and even more so anger. And that's really the meat of this video, is anger and suppressing anger. All my life I've pretty much bottled up anger. I've always been a nice guy, and I've always hated conflict, confrontation. I still do. But the anger just builds and builds. And if anyone can tell you, in theory, if someone asks you, is it good to bottle up your anger? No. They will tell you no. It's obvious, it's common sense. But just the way that people process things, the way that I have processed anger much of my life, it's just been building and building, and it causes serious issues, bitterness and rage and hatred, and it's terrifying and certainly not productive. So typically in my life, my anger management methods have been the same, and they kind of have continued to now. But I'll work out, I will play guitar or other music, play video games, very violent video games a lot of the time. And it seems pretty harmless. I mean, they're good things, but they're not permanent things, and they really don't solve the issues. They just alleviate the symptoms temporarily. And while I'm all about violent video games, whether I should be or not, they're probably not the best solution, but definitely fun. So I've never been really an angry person. It sounds like it, like from what I've been talking about under the surface, and that's entirely possible. But on the surface, I've been nice, kind. I've been kind, or kind. I've been kind, and I'm glad, and I hope that that's how people perceive me. But it really can eat away at you, being angry. So I hate to utter this phrase because it makes my skin crawl, but you have to let it go. If you start singing, I'm sorry. Speaking of singing, I wrote a song that's actually on my other YouTube channel. That's just my name for music, and one of the songs I wrote, the title is The Beast in the Night, night being with a K. So like the individual, and as much as I might like to dismiss it, it's kind of about me and that dark side that I have and that we can have as people if we don't take care of it. So I like to think now I'm definitely not fixed. You know, the beast is not fixed per se, but it's definitely kept in better check. And a large portion of that is God. And God is working on my heart, and He has been for months. And I got out of a situation that was really kind of deteriorating my soul, which sounds extreme, but that's how it felt. And it was kind of a toxic situation, and my parents could see it, my wife could see it, and it was time to get out of it. God helped me with that, and it's been working on my heart ever since. Speaking of my heart, I wanted to talk about forgiveness of myself and others. It's dorky, and I told myself I wouldn't do it, but Spider-Man 3 is not the best of the three in the original trilogy. I admit that. I like certain elements of it. I really like Sandman and all that, but even though people complain that Peter Parker, Tobey Maguire is a big, crier man instead of Spider-Man, I still to this day really appreciate the fact that at the end, or toward the end of the movie, spoiler alert, this was from 2007 or something, Peter, Spider-Man, actually forgave Sandman for killing Uncle Ben. And it means a lot, and I thought that was a really bold move that they did in that movie. But the point is, forgiveness is so very powerful. And I mean, I harbor this, this anger, or you might harbor this anger, and it just eats away at you. I mean, I think about driving, and you can ask my wife or my mom or anyone else who drives with me, and someone cuts me off closely or not so closely, and I get all bent out of shape, and the other driver doesn't know, they don't care, or maybe they know and they like it. It doesn't matter. It eats me up inside, and it doesn't hurt them at all. It's stupid, let it go, little stuff. But more than that, just forgiveness of past wrongs that other people have done to you, for things that I've done screwed up to myself in my life. If you watch my other videos, I've had to spend much of the last 10 plus years forgiving myself for putting myself in the ridiculous situation I've been in, going off my meds cold turkey. It's been tremendously terrible. It's gotten a lot better though. But forgiveness of yourself, forgiveness of others, much more easily done through God, is really kind of the crux of the matter. Because the anger has to come from somewhere, and it's largely a wrongdoing that occurred to you. It could have been yesterday, it could have been 2 years ago, it could have been 30 years ago. But that's really the heart of the matter. I can play video games till I'm blue in the face. Well, that'd be great. That was when I was younger. Now I don't have time. But it doesn't really solve it. And while I certainly suggest and urge any of you watching to find good methods to help you relax, to let go, whether it be working out, taking a walk, brisk or otherwise, watching funny stand-up, some of the best stuff that my wife Angela and I do together, laughing, watching stand-up comedy. But breathe, forgive. I thought I might not mention this either, but my sister has talked to me about my suppression that I didn't even know about. And she just pointed right out, and she just said, you don't speak up. You don't do anything with it. It's suppression in the truest sense. It's literal suppression. So I would urge you to do better than I do in something I'm trying to work on. I'm not saying you confront someone in the heat of the moment. At least do the countdown from 10 thing. But if something's really going on that is bothering you, that a family member did or a friend did, speak to them when the time is right. And or if you need to, speak with another friend, or just kind of grieve that hurt that you feel. But to not actually do anything productive with it beyond just containing it barely just brings out the not so incredible Hulk. So I urge you to work, seek, breathe, relax. Something that I struggle with tremendously. Speaking of breathing, we all do it. I'm sorry, that was totally ridiculous. There are many apps that it sounds stupid to me, but if you have a smartphone, you know, there's an app like Breathe to Relax, and there are many other apps, or even for like vocal training to help you breathe. And it sounds silly, but there's a lot of power in just stopping and breathing, whether or not you're meditating or doing yoga or whatever with it, just and then you're drowning. But it seems goofy every time I do it, but you do that cycle, 10 in, hold, 10 out, hold. It really does help. In fact, I probably should have done more of it before speaking to you. I still struggle, like I said. I'm not done. I'm not through this. It's not like I'm done with the human experience of anger. And while anger in and of itself isn't wrong, it's really what you do with it and how you handle it. As I said, I like to think that God's really working on my heart, and I'm far less angry than I used to be. And it's a beautiful thing. I'm sure not just for me, but for other people and maybe fellow drivers. I'm still working on that. As I've said at the end of my other videos, you're not alone. You're not alone. Whether with God, with friends, family, coworkers, you're not alone. This video doesn't necessarily tie into mental illness, but it's very much a part of my story, and I know it's much a part of our existence. I urge you, if you need help, you're watching this, you're on this page, you haven't watched the other videos, please reach out if you need help. Speak to a counselor, a friend, a family member, psychiatrist, someone at your university, and seek help. I am nowhere near healed or perfect, but being through the mental illness gamut for 20 years has taught me a lot. And if I'm able to help or share anything I can with anyone watching these videos, it delights me to no end. So please like this video if you like it, or if you don't like it, and share it with others. I really hope these videos can be seen by people that could really use some insight, and at the very least, genuine sincerity. I'm going to be working on some other videos here soon too, one of which is about faith. So that one I'm actually very excited about, and I thank you for watching. Until next time, take care.